People keep calling Demon Slayer a fluke hit, a fluke success, but if that's true, then why does it keep on breaking records after records in every season? In this video, we're gonna break down every single point from the early skepticism that it got all the way up to the very last point that why Demon Slayer is not just a fluke hit, but it's actually a trend, actually deserves all the respect and recognition that it's gained. Okay, let's quickly talk about some of the early skepticism that it got. The first thing was that Demon Slayer is just a flashy animation. It's just a piece of good animation. There's nothing else to it. People just dismissed it as good animation. And people even used to have debates that Demon Slayer would not survive if it wasn't for the studio Ufotable, because Ufotable is a very powerful studio and it knows how to play with its visuals. So if Ufotable wasn't the one that was adapting Demon Slayer, then Demon Slayer would not even survive. But now what happened is that Demon Slayer actually blew up in season 1 episode 19, which is named Hino Kami. That is when Demon Slayer truly got its recognition for the very first time. That episode in which Tanjiro fights Rui, the lower six, that fight was so beautifully and so flamboyantly animated that people just couldn't help it. It went viral on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, and every piece of social media. It became a global success. It became a global checkpoint for Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer truly got its recognition for the very first time. And people even talk about it today because that fight is easily one of the best choreographed fights in Demon Slayer, and it still is. And how beautifully it was animated. It was not just a hit for studio or hit for Demon Slayer, it was actually a cultural shift. It became a cultural shift for anime in general. People started to take anime more seriously. They started to give more attention to anime. For those who didn't even know what anime is, they started to understand what anime is. It wasn't just animation, it was feeling. And we're gonna talk about what I mean by feeling. There are a lot of emotions in this show as well, and we know how many. And then came Mugen Train. Right after season 1, it became one of the most popular anime movies of all time. It broke record. It defeated Spirited Away, Hayao Miyazaki's amazing movie at box office. It became the highest grossing Japanese movie of all time. So this is not just a fluke. It shows that people were invested into it. People would never pay for a movie with their money if they weren't invested into it. They were invested. They wanted to go and watch the movie. So people wanted to do it. No one forced them to do. So that explains that it's not just a fluke, but people were actually invested into it. People were emotionally invested into it, and that's a strong thing because not every show is able to do what Demon Slayer has been able to do with its fan base. Not every show is able to capture the emotion the way Demon Slayer is able to do. It's something that Demon Slayer takes the most credit for, and it's true. Demon Slayer knows how to captivate audience with emotions. Which takes me to the next point, the characters and emotions, and why Demon Slayer is so good with it. We know that Tanjiro is kind, Tanjiro's kindness, Nezuko's cuteness, Rengoku's honor, Tengen's flamboyance. These are some of the things that make Demon Slayer so much more better, so much more higher in emotional standards than any other show or any other anime. Why? Because we get to see that how human these people are. Sure, they have a lot of good powers, there are flashy visuals in the show, but they're also human. Tanjiro is so kind, unconditionally. Nezuko is cute and people love her. Rengoku is so honorable. When he gets punched by Akaza, he remembers his mother and never gives her till the last moment. And then he had a beautiful dialogue with Tanjiro before he passed away. It was beautiful. That's not something that every anime is able to do the way Demon Slayer has been able to do. And then Tengen's flamboyance. Tengen is by far, I think Tengen is the most beloved Hashira when it comes to its Demon Slayer's fan base, because he's so cool. He is so cool. Remember season 2, Tengen versus Gyotaro? I think it is still up to this point one of the best Demon Slayer fights ever. In fact, the best Demon Slayer fight ever till Infinity Castle comes on, which I have made, by the way. I have made a video for that you can check out here. And believe me when I say this, Demon Slayer has been able to captivate its audience emotionally, not just psychologically or visually, but there's a lot of emotion. People wanna invest into it. They're not like, okay, it's cool visuals, we'll go and watch it. No, they are wanting to invest into it because emotion emotions are being captured by Demon Slayer. There are emotions that people can relate to in the show. A lot of people have lost their loved ones. That show captures that. A lot of people have never been treated with kindness. Tanjiro treats people with kindness. People can relate to that. A lot of people are scared like Zenitsu. People can relate to that. A lot of people have never been loved. People can relate to Inosuke. See, there's so much to relate to. When this kind of similarity comes into a show, people can relate to it. People can understand. People are invested into it. And that's exactly what Demon Slayer did. And it did it brilliantly. So that's why it's not just cool fights. It's trauma, it's emotional scars wrapped into beautiful animation. I would say Demon Slayer is a complete package. Sure, the story is simple. It's nothing like Attack on Titan level of story. But it's still a good narrative. You can still get invested into it and enjoy it. So as long as it's worth your time, you can enjoy it. It's good. You can be emotionally invested into it. A lot of people cry their eyes out at the end of Mugen Train. Why? Because it hits them on soul level. That's not what every anime can do. That's not what every show is able to do. No matter how much budget is put into it. It's not something that budget is responsible for. It's the characters, it's the dialogue, it's the animation, it's the music, it's the way the scene is choreographed. That's what captures emotions, and Demon Slayer does it perfectly. Now, let's get to the next point, which is Ufotable's artistry and consistency. Now, consistency is actually very important as well, because ever since 2019, when Demon Slayer came into the world in anime format, it has been consistent ever since. Season 1 came out, then movie came out, then Season 2, then Season 3, then Season 4. Now we're gonna get Infinity Castle arc movie 1. So, see, Ufotable is such a strong studio. They know what they're doing. Those are some thick, psychotic sons of bitches, and I love them for that. They are so good when it comes to capturing emotions with music, emotions with visuals, emotions with choreography, emotions with characters. They know everything when it comes to that, and they are so good with it that they have been able to capture their audience from Season 1 and all the way up to Infinity Castle Movie 1. And even when Demon Slayer gets completed, it's gonna leave a huge legacy. Let me tell you something. Ufotable is such a strong studio that they know what they're doing, and their animators, their workers are so loyal to them that they don't even complain about that. They probably work as hard as map animators do, but they love doing what they're doing. And see, so there's love put into the show as well, and that's why love is also seen in the show as well, because we can see it clearly with their breathing techniques, elemental techniques, and their special moves, etc, etc. It's so beautifully animated. Ufotable knows what it's doing. It also has been doing Fate series before Demon Slayer, so they know what they're doing. They have a long history of producing peak content for its audience. Which takes me to next point, which is its legacy that it's building. Because Demon Slayer is building a legacy. Anime is never gonna be the same after Infinity Castle trilogy. Let me tell you something. I've made a movie about that. You can check out here. It's gonna leave a legacy so strong that people will talk about this anime. Other animes will copy Demon Slayer. That's how successful legacy it's gonna leave for the future anime. Ever since Demon Slayer came in, we have seen a cultural shift. Global fan base. I have never seen a fan base as dedicated to Demon Slayer as ever before. I have never seen people so invested into a show. Like the Mugen Train movie came right after Season 1. And if you asked me at that time, I would logically tell you that the movie would not be such a good idea. Though it would be a good idea, because it gives you wider audience, but it would not produce as much money as it did. But people were so invested into it, they got so attached to it emotionally that they went to go and watch the movie. It became the highest Japanese movie ever. It's crazy. It broke a record, a massive record. It's not easy to build above 500 million US dollars at box office. That is crazy, but they did it. So this is a legacy that's leaving, and it's such a strong legacy. Global fan base, movie theaters, and people are gonna talk about it. I would say they'll talk about it for generations. This is the pinnacle of anime adaptation that Ufotable is doing with Demon Slayer. It's crazy, honestly. It's one of the most successful franchises in the whole world, generally, not just with anime, generally. That's how strong it is. Because this isn't a wave, it's a new standard for animation, a new standard for production in general. And yeah, that just pretty much wraps up all of my points. Just want to talk about that what makes Demon Slayer so much different, so much more deep, and why it isn't just a fluke hit. It actually deserves the recognition that it gets. Because you see, Demon Slayer isn't a rising trend. It is the trend, and it's only growing, and it is here to stay. When Demon Slayer gets concluded, when the last movie, the Infinity Castle last movie released in the trilogy, people are gonna talk about it for so many years. I might be an 80 years old guy and I would still be talking about it, probably to my kids or whatever, because this is the pinnacle of production right now and pinnacle of anime in general, because I have never seen a studio or an anime being this successful with anime in the past years. Sure, Attack on Titan is a very good example, but I would say when it comes to emotional attachment, Demon Slayer is at the pinnacle. No one takes place. So let me know your thoughts. I'm pretty sure you guys think the same thing, because why else would people want to go and spend so much money on the movies and show so much support to Demon Slayer like they have been showing? And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.